Hello, hello. Hey, Boomer. Boomer, you can still claim first. Click the button, click the button. Hey, Goro. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We are going to modify the today command and then get started on the spirit caller. Adam is going to start work on the spirit caller, which will be the final adventurer in Skeleseller, planned for the Skeleseller launch. The work definitely won't get done today. Cool. 85 filter. I thought, let's join the live stream. Let's listen to Adam talk at 1x speed instead of 10x speed. Well, good to see you. Good to see you all. Yeah, so we are going to start the spirit caller. This was my main goal for this week, is to finish all of the adventurers. Might as well add this here. Finish the golem, started the spirit caller. We're going to maybe aim to do 1 to 3 abilities. I already streamed for 4 hours and 10 minutes. So in another hour and a half, I'd feel like, okay, we've done something. So yeah, maybe that's enough time to make 1 or 2 abilities. I'm not sure. Schrodinger's, thanks for the resub. Happy 11 months. Appreciate it. Actually slow you down. Turns into death metal. It's turbo metal right now. Okay, so let's go get started on this. This is going to be a bit of a stumbling start here because I haven't looked at these ability ideas in a long time. And I don't even know if we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, no. We have all of them apparently. Summon spirits, summon a damaged spirit, and hype training coming. Man, that banner's huge, and it apparently triggers for just 1 subscriber. Quick question. Are you going to change the town hall to make it so you don't see the dedicated grid for it? I don't know if I explained correctly. I think what you mean is there are these like empty plots of land, and you can tell that, okay, on that one there's going to be a weapon shop, and on that one there's going to be the warehouse. Yeah, that is a goal of ours, to change that. I've been displeased by that for pretty much the entirety of the game. We just haven't finished working on that. All right, so summon a damaged spirit and any other spirits you've unlocked at the beginning of battle. Spirits cannot be targeted unless the spirit caller dies. Interesting. And grants a spirit X% power for Y second. Each spirit benefits from power. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, improves the damaging spirit. Summons a spirit with a heal ability. Summons a spirit with the ability to increase the power of allies. Summons a spirit with the ability to increase the dodge chance of allies. Spirits use their abilities more often. And dual targeting. X% chance to target 2 things with the ability. I think I meant with empower spirit here. And make empower spirit more potent and or last for longer. Okay. Yeah, sure. That fine lunch, I just had a meal replacement thing. So not really. But still, it was nice to take a break. I'm feeling pretty good. Hey, 20 hours later. Welcome back. Okay. I like this. I don't think we came up with the names for these things. Well, we kind of did. Summon spirits, I think, is fine. Ethereal spirits is fine. Empower spirit is fine. Yeah. Improved damage spirit. Heal spirit. Power buff spirit. Okay, so these should probably come up with better names. And maybe we can base them on the animals themselves. Lunch is nice. Want some of yours? Yes. All right, let's go get the graphics. Spirit caller. So this is what we're tackling now. Spirit graphics. Let me get this. Copy link. Share some veggies. Nice. I had a quesadilla the other day from a farmer's market, and it had a lot of what I would call unusual vegetables for a quesadilla. It was like cabbage, I want to say radish, carrot, I think, onion. Onion's normal. And maybe some other stuff I'm forgetting. Okay, this is gonna have to be like the zombie thing. Do we have a how do zombies even work? Monsters? Is it in here? Zombie leader? Yeah, okay. So then we'll probably need to split up the sprite sheet. All right, so first, we have 4 different spirit types. We have damage, heal, dodge buff, and power buff. So which is which in the picture? We have the sprite, the dog, the cat, and the snake. I think snake would probably be damage. I'd say cat would probably be the dodge buff. The dog could be the power buff, and the sprite could be the healer. How's that sound? Anyone have a more sensible thing? I guess you could probably swap snake and cat. I think this makes the most sense to me. I think that's what we're going to do. Where's the class design for this class? Spirit Caller. Spirit graphics. Sprite heal. Okay. Yeah, so naming wise, we got to figure out the names of these things. Improved damage spirit. What we could say is like snake spirit or improved snake spirit or something like that. And then we could just name the other ones like dog spirit, cat spirit, and sprite spirit, which would probably be a little bit weird. Let me look at those again. Where'd they go? This is why I said the thing about stumbling. We're going to need to look at this a decent amount. Nymph, pixie, elf. Pixie spirit. Oh, they don't have death animations. Okay. All right, never mind. That's going to complicate a lot of this. It's fine that they just fade out when they die, but the problem that we're going to have is that they have an ability usage animation. Hey again, Vince, you normally do 2 streams a day? Yeah, I usually do morning and afternoon. I'd rather not just leave the stream running with no content there. So I tend to end between the two, but I can't just stream for like 6 hours straight without getting food or taking a longer break. I mean, I could, but I don't think I'd want to. So each spirit has an attack animation, but no death animation. What do the zombies have? They have a death animation, right? I think they do. I'll open this. I'm nearly positive they do. Yeah, they do. And they're the only summon that exists right now. Yeah. I like that keyboard. Bought a similar one, but it hasn't arrived yet. Which one did you get? I really like this keyboard. I've been using it now for, I'm just going to estimate, about probably 3 years. Alice Duo. I've never had an Alice style keyboard. Let me take a look. Oh, I guess technically it's maybe this one. Oh man, this one looks super cool with the keycaps that they have. I really like those keycaps. Yeah, this looks nice. If this is what you're getting, I wonder what those buttons do. Yeah, anyway, something that I really, really want on a keyboard for this is an encoder knob. Just to control volume or something. Then again, I just found out that there's a thing called a monitor controller, which is pretty much the same thing, but it's potentially got other functions on it too. So like the simplest possible one is like this. This is what I was thinking I might even buy. It's got a volume knob. It's got a way of controlling some basic things here, but then you can also control which source or monitors you're using here, which granted, this might not do what I want it to do. I'm not sure, but I need to buy new speakers at some point too. You have to build it yourself, switches keys. It takes like 2 months to arrive. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, this looks super cool. I hope you like it. And if you end up putting something like QMK on it, then you can customize the layers. Because that, in my mind, is the biggest thing that you would do. So even on this keyboard, the arrow keys are pretty close, but they're still not in the home row, and you have to move your pinky or your whole hand, and you have to readjust. So if you haven't already seen the video I did on this, I highly recommend watching it. And I'm not saying to change which keyboard you buy, but it might change how you use this keyboard. Oh, this looks wireless, so it might not be possible to use with QMK, but there might be something similar. This is fine, but it'll require some custom code. Okay, so all we're doing is coming up with ability names still. So Heal Spirit could be the sprite. Should we call it the Pixie Spirit? Does it look like a pixie? Type Pixie in. Search for images. Pixie Spirit. Pixie Sprite. I don't like that. And if you search for just Sprite, I'm guessing the soda comes up. Yeah. Minus soda. Minus pop. This does not help. How do you not get these as results? I have no idea. Okay, well, whatever. Doesn't help. Yeah, I guess Sprite would be okay. We could call it Sprite. I kind of want them all to have spirit at the end. This is the spirit caller. What do we call this thing? We could call it Protector Spirit, maybe. Big storm hit and took the power out. Oh, man. So you're on your phone now, I'm guessing? All right, well, let's think about that. Power buff was going to be the dog spirit. Dodge buff was going to be the cat spirit. Spirit command, dual targeting, improved in power spirit. Yeah, this stuff all makes sense. This is the only one that's questionable to me. And this is technically summons a snake spirit and any other spirits you have unlocked at the beginning of battle. Improved, I guess we should call this improved snake spirit. Yeah. No one's redeemed first as far as I can tell. Sprite spirit. We just need a name for this thing. What would, if you had to put spirit at the end of this thing's name, what would you call this? I guess Protector Spirit would kind of work, but then it wouldn't match what the other ones are called. Protector Spirit. We could call it Sprite Spirit. I just think that that's going to look like a typo or people aren't going to read that correctly. Nice, Piley, you got it. Maybe adjective plus spirit, depending on his personality. Well, the other ones are noun plus spirit. Dog, cat, and snake. So what's the last one? Hey Zoe, did you try streaming? Excuse me. Tried spewing words out. I think Sprite could work. As if you Google this, Sprite Spirit. Or maybe like Fairy Spirit would potentially work too. Fairy Spirit. I kind of like that one. How about we call it that for now? And if we come up with a better thing later, we can change it. Yeah. Well, anyway, when you do consider trying it out, posting on the Show and Tell channel in Discord is okay. I like knowing what everyone's up to in the community. I just don't want people abusing it. So like imagine if you were a streamer who already had a set schedule and you stream like 3 times a week. Posting there 3 times a week would be very, very much a no-no. But yeah, I like knowing what people are up to and just, yeah, be cool to drop in, support you. You've supported the stream. Now the stream supports you. All right, so name-wise, are we good? Summon spirits, ethereal spirits, and power spirit. Improved snake spirit, fairy spirit, dog spirit, cat spirit, spirit command, dual targeting, and improved in power spirit. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Guardian spirit. That's pretty good too, actually. Let's say other name ideas: Protector Spirit, Guardian Spirit, Sprite Spirit. I still kind of like Fairy Spirit. How would I feel about calling this thing Guardian Spirit? It just, Guardian is a more generic term. Like a dog could be a guardian, right? But a dog can't be a fairy. I like the name to describe what it is as opposed to what its role is. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, let's go with these names. What is it? I mean, it's a sprite. It's just sprite might mean different things for different people. Like in Secret of Mana, there was a sprite. And it does not look at all like this. This is what the sprite was in Secret of Mana. And I guess what's the definition of sprite? An elf or fairy? I don't know. I still kind of want to call it that. I just don't like how similar the words are, sprite and spirit. So that saying sprite spirit is, it just doesn't look right to me. Oh well, anyway, I'll just stick with fairy for now. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so now that we have that, what we can do is we can go add in the spirit caller, all adventurer data. So the spirit caller's stats, what should it look like? Well, let's copy paste this and then type in spirit caller. A master of the spirits can summon a snake, a cat, a dog, and a fairy to fill out your team of adventurers. Its role is damage, support. No one else has the term support for this. The other roles that we have are these. Damage, tank, heal. So the only ones we've used so far are damage, tank, heal. And some might get categorized as support if we allowed for support. Like this might say heal, comma, support. I kind of want to just write hybrid here and just let the player figure it out. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. Yeah, I'll just write hybrid. Okay, now to figure out what the number is that's supposed to go here. So we pull it from here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 it is, which means a mushroom should be 9. Yeah, it is. All right, now it's stats. So I kind of want this thing being a hybrid class to have a little bit of everything. I think the fortitude could be kept at 1. Does anyone else have a fortitude of 1? Yeah, in fact, most of them probably do. We should probably give them a little bit more than normal. And maybe a little bit more life than normal. And maybe slightly less power than normal. So something like that. All right, now we go code all the ability IDs in. So we need all of the names. Let's get these. And then everything before the colon. Cool. Get rid of the whole max level stuff that's here. Get rid of that. So there are 10 names here, and these are all the names that we had, right? Yep. All right, so those are going to be our names that we put into here. And then just delete the spaces. And then set them equal to these things and save. Delete the new lines. Okay, how's that look? Nice. Yeah, nice. No typos, right? No, no typos. Okay, so now we'd go make all the boilerplate abilities. I guess we have add adventurers, add adventurer class, add all ability IDs at once, and corresponding boilerplate abilities. So which ones are active? Oh, man. This is kind of active, but only affects it at the very beginning of battle, so it doesn't have a cooldown. It's more like a passive ability. Yeah, I guess let's just annotate all of these. Passive, Ethereal Spirits is definitely passive. Empower Spirits is active. Brute Snake Spirit is passive. I think everything is passive at that point, right? Yes, everything else would be passive. So the only active one is this. So let's just put a star next to that one. And now let's go get literally any passive ability. So just search for passive. Wait, there's another folder here. What is the other folder? Oh, it's base. Okay. I was like, have I messed up every ability I've made so far? But no, it's active and passive and then base. That's fine. All right, so let's just save this as whatever the first ability name is. Summon spirits. Summon spirits. Summon spirits. Okay, so description. Fill this in. Cool. Now return messages.getDescription. Max level. Set this to 1, I guess. ID is none. And delete that stuff. And now we save this as every other ability that we have. So let's go get all the other abilities. The only one that's special is Empower Spirit. So we're going to do everything other than Empower Spirit right now. So let's save this. Then this. All right. This is boring. I know. We're going to get through this pretty fast. We have 4 more of these, and then we can do the active ones. Two more. And now for the active one. Okay, so the active one is Empower Spirit. And let's just go get Quick Strike. And say this is Empower Spirit. Cooldown is, I don't know, 3. I'm not going to come up with any of those right now. Icon is none. All this stuff goes away. This goes away. It does literally nothing. This goes away. Delete all of that. And now just get the description, which is fill this in. Did I just delete something? Display name is, sure, Empower Spirit. Okay. Now we delete all of this, sure. And just say to fix all of that document. Fix it all for over here, right? Yeah. And then in all adventurer data, we just plug in the new abilities, which is everything from here down. Plug them in over here. And we should be able to run. Let's try it out. Oh, nothing's going to allow us to add the adventure into the game yet. I forgot. We got to do that. We also got to make a new branch. Yeah. All right, what's the problem here? Force to map marker. Oh, this is me not clicking Godot. Let's reload that. And then let's add them in before I forget. Game constants, mushroom. So we add in the spirit caller. We get this code. Put that in town underneath the for hire stuff. If it contains the spirit caller, then just add them immediately. And let's try running that. That should work. And there's our spirit caller. Look at them go. So we could put them in a battle. We could look at their skills. It's all going to be empty. Well, the names are technically almost correct. They need spaces. Yeah, nice. And we put them into battle. They should have their animations working correctly. Oh, they float. This is so cool. Yeah, they'll never do anything because I cut out all of their abilities. But they should have an animation for when they do something. Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, let's see what happens when they're dead. So let's put them in a battle with another character. And throw them into this. And hopefully they die. I just want to see the animation. Hey, Alta 4, how's it going? Thanks for the raid. We were working on this new character right now, the Spirit Caller. And I'm trying to see their death animation. So I'm waiting for them to die, but they have to die not last. And okay, they pretty much died last. Okay, here's what we could do then. We could just make the cleric have a lot more. Oh wait, you could just make them untargetable. Let's do that. Hey Tiger Dev, and welcome in everybody. Hope the stream was good. Hope everyone's having a good day. We'll be streaming for about an hour and a half more. We're just going to be making abilities for this class and making kind of that class itself. So I'm looking at the death animation right now. Yeah, that looks good. The life bar goes away. And then that's it. Then the cleric will die, probably. And then they restore their life, yeah. Very neat. Now, since this character is hovering a little bit. Oh, no, they don't hover for their walk animation. So they walk when they're in town. They hover when they're in battle. Let's see what they look like carrying an item. We need the town hall for that. All right, go pick something up. Nice. Very cool. Hey, Wanderer. Welcome one and all. Yeah, so this is Skeleseller. And we have 10 abilities we have to code, and then we're pretty much like done with adventurers for a while. So we're going to code all of these. The Spirit Caller is going to be a little different from any other adventurer. So we have one summoner in the game already, the Witch Doctor. And the way that they work is they summon a zombie every like 5 seconds. And the zombies automatically die on their own. They have drain life on them. So if I were to show you the Witch Doctor in a battle, this is our only summoner class right now, as I mentioned. So after a couple seconds, they summon a zombie. The zombie attacks, and whenever the zombie gets attacked, it poisons the enemy. So you see these little particles on the enemy right now. Well, this is sort of a traditional summoner. The Spirit Caller is going to summon 4 things at once, upwards of 4 things at once. And they will just be alive for the entire battle until the Spirit Caller dies, and then they can start taking damage. Who's drawing the sprites? Check this out, Lupo. So in making a slightly different summoner, we're gonna have some coding challenges here, which should be fun. So let's check in what I've done so far. We just added the class. We have all just placeholder abilities. Nothing is actually doing anything yet. In fact, we should probably run from here so that we get all of the UID files as well. I don't know if those are already there, but they're definitely there now. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's run through this. It should be straightforward. Everything is just copy pasted. I'm not going to read through all the copy pasted stuff. All I wanted to do is just lay out what does this class look like, and we've done that. So yeah, everything looks good. Okay, so add spirit. Oh, I'm not on the new branch. Almost forgot that. Git checkout -b add Spirit Caller. Add Spirit Caller foundation. I added the 10 abilities, but none of them are functional yet. Yeah, cool. All right, let's start with number 1. Summon a snake spirit and any other spirits you've unlocked at the beginning of battle. Okay. So let's just copy paste that here. Summons a snake spirit and any other spirits you have unlocked. Okay, so here's the little trick here. When you first get this character, you aren't going to know which spirits even exist because they'll all be grayed out like this. So this is going to say summon all of your spirits. We could say summon like cat spirit and snake spirit and dog spirit and whatever else, and then make them green. I guess we do that for the mage. So we probably should do that for this character. This says has a 20% chance on casting fireball, lightning zaps, ice blast, or stalagmite. But you don't have ice blast or stalagmite. And you can probably tell by hovering over the icons that those will probably be ice blast and stalagmite, but you don't know for sure. Yeah, so we probably should say this there. All right, so summons a snake spirit and any spirits you have unlocked. So we'll say, what order are we writing these in? Probably the same order we have here. Fairy, dog, and cat. Fairy, spirit, name. Dog, spirit, name. Cat, spirit, name. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Okay, looks good. So now we need to get the names of all of those things. This is going to be ability data.get, or what, all abilities.get. Fairy spirit.display name. And then, yeah, same thing with that and that. And then pass in all of these. Easy. Yeah, AI really helps with the boilerplate there. It's not like this is hard code to write. Okay, now let's go look at the tooltip and let's get the ability to work. We have a way of summoning things in the game. I have a way of making things untargetable. Now I have a lot of things we can get working here. So summons, oh, this is not looking good. Although this only isn't looking good because I didn't make the display names correct. So fairy spirit should have a space there. Dog spirit should have a space. And cat spirit. And then we need all of these to be formatted correctly. Format skill name. Okay, now let's try that out. Again, all we're doing is looking at this. Summons a snake spirit and any other spirits you have unlocked. Fairy spirit, dog spirit, and cat spirit at the beginning of a battle. And then this is going to say that they're immune to damage, basically. It's not really that they're immune to damage, although maybe we want to make them immune to damage. Can't be targetable and immune. I'll write that down here under the cleanup thing. So let's do this. Spirit caller work. Cleanup. Consider making them immune to damage in addition to being untargetable. I can't type. Yeah, that's fine. This is something we need to do. Okay, so beginning of battle. This is going to be a passive ability granting a buff, and then the buff has a way of doing something at the beginning of battle, because what base ability doesn't? There's a use function. Where's that? That's active ability. Use. Is there any beginning of battle thing here? It's okay if there isn't. We don't even need it. I just want to see if there was something like that. There is this called at the beginning of the instance, not for individual battles. Wait, what? Not for each individual battle? I think I meant stage. So there is initialize, and it's in base ability. So actually, this could just be right there, which makes this a lot easier. It's pretty nice. All right, so get this. Put this here. Change this to override. Get the battle system. And let's have it just summon a zombie for right now, just to test if this works. All right, so what does summon zombie do? Whatever the gravel chunks one used, right? To give you 4 at the start. Yeah, but that's an effect. So the way that gravel works is gravel is a passive ability granting gravel buff. And then gravel buff is an effect that listens for the beginning of battle. So my question here was, could we bypass having an effect? And the answer is yes, we can. We couldn't for the gravel buff because we need something to happen when you get attacked. And abilities don't know when you were attacked, but effects do. So summon zombie does a heck of a lot. uh all right, let's copy this. It's impossible for you to have this spirit caller and not have space for the summons because you can have 4 party members and then the spirit caller can add 4 more and then max is 9. So at most you could have 8 at the beginning of battle. And there's no other character that can add more. But we probably should accommodate what happens if you don't have enough. So this isn't going to be a thing. The battler that we get, we're going to say this is, I guess, Snake Spirit. So this is battle system dot summon by enemy ID. This is the summoner. So the summoner here is going to be this. No, this is not right. It's going to be the source. The team is going to be the same source as the source, the same team as the source entity, which we're going to say is player for right now, but technically this should be pulled from the character itself. We'll probably never give this ability to an enemy, so it's not really ever going to matter. And then the ID is going to potentially change. Let's just have it be a zombie for right now. Now, I don't want it to be a zombie, but again, we haven't coded anything else. So now if it couldn't make a snake spirit, then just return. Actually, how about this? If it's not null, then do a bunch of stuff. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, we don't need that. We don't need a sound to play for this. Then we give this thing a bunch of abilities. All right, let's give it... Does it have bite? Where's bite? I see poisonous skin. I see zombie curse. And I see zombie link. I don't see bite. What uses this thing? Zombie bite. Oh, wow. The zombie itself has it coded in as an ability. And it just knows how to use that. Well, that's pretty interesting. Why didn't we do this for these things then? Because they're buffs? Wow. Wow. All right, well, there's an untargetable by enemies component. I guess we want to add that. Makes an entity untargetable. Be very careful to add a death or removal condition, since otherwise they may not be able to die since it can't be targeted. See issue 342. What is that? Oops. Change untargetable into an effect. No real reason to make it into an effect. I even did the work. See patch below, but there are 2 things I didn't like. Resistance to initialize effects differently since Shield of Unity creates this, which causes a concurrent modification error. Well, it doesn't do that anymore, but it does inflate the code. If there were some benefit that we gained, then it'd be worthwhile, but it doesn't even need the effect events like on damage dealt. Okay. Good job, Past Adam. I will update this. I'll say update. This should no longer be the case since we queue the addition of effects. Yeah. In fact, we should probably just cross that off, huh? Was it 2 tildes? Yeah. All right, now where's the save button? There it is. All right, so we add this, which I'm pretty sure we don't ever use right now. We do use it here. And this has an update effect. So what's going to happen here? This is going to be when the spirit caller dies, we need to remove this. So the spirit caller is going to need a buff from ethereal spirits that on death fetches all of the spirits from battle, which we wouldn't be able to even know unless summon spirits stores it somewhere. Yeah. But they could be null at any point. And we'd be pulling this from here. God. Okay, so ethereal spirits. We need to remove the untargetable by enemies component when the spirit caller dies. We can probably save off each spirit in summoned spirits and then remove their components from there, from those references, via those references. All right, so the abilities are going to be right on the snake spirit itself, which is going to be an attack like bite or something like that. Nothing says how much damage this does, though. That's the only... I don't know how I feel about that. Summons a snake spirit. It doesn't say what a snake spirit does. We got to write that down. Yeah. Summon spirits need the tooltip to say what the snake spirit does, which is damage via probably a bite attack. Okay, so then add in an untargetable by enemies component to the snake spirit. New? Does that work? It apparently does. Well. Okay, sure. We get the effects component multiple times for that. That's kind of pointless, isn't it? Effects component EC equals get, and then stop doing this stuff. And make sure that's actually on the zombie. That looks pretty nice. Any other place that we wrote effects component? Only down there. That's fine. We do the same thing for this, though. Get the battle stats component twice. Oh, we get 2 different battle stats components. That's fine. Anything else? No, nothing else. I don't know how much life and energy and whatever else this thing is going to have. It's only going to matter when the spirit caller dies, but I don't want the spirit caller to turn into a tank. So I think I want all of these to have a very low amount of life. So stats-wise, I want them to copy from the summoner stats. So this entity is the source. The zombie, should we ever use that again, is going to be the snake spirit. So we get the stats of each of these things. We don't care about a level. I don't probably care about the stat multiplier. Yeah. So we rename this to spirit stats. And its power is going to be exactly the same as your power. And its fortitude, I guess, is going to be the same. No, it should probably have 0 fortitude. Yeah. Then its life, we need to make it be a fraction of yours. So where does this health of summoner stuff come from? It's stat multiplier. Stat percent bonus in there. Otherwise, percent power of summoner. It just comes from this thing. Okay, we'll just put it in here then. So const flow percent life of summoner. So let's say you have 150 life. These spirits should probably have like 10% of your life. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So very little. They should take like 1 hit and they should die because they can't take any damage until the spirit caller has died. So I don't want to multiply their life by like 4 effectively by having 5 different characters take a bunch of damage. So summoner HC, this part's fine. Zombie HC is supposed to be called spirit HC. And then we use this spirit HC, spirit. This is going to go here. All right, there we go. So this is going to make a snake, which is really a zombie. In fact, let's make it look like a bat. I know that's even more confusing. But the bat will be untargetable, and that's all that's going to happen. So here's what I expect. Spirit Caller is going to enter battle. They're going to summon a bat immediately. The bat cannot take any damage until the Spirit Caller is killed. And then once the Spirit Caller is killed, the bat should die pretty much immediately. So let's see how that works. So yeah, there's our bat. The bat does damage. It's doing 10. Oh, so then the Spirit Caller won't die because the bat is going to kill the other bat. All right, so then how do we test this? I guess we just go into a different battle. Excuse me. All right, so flee the battle and go over to here where we're guaranteed to lose. So now they're going to kill the Spirit Caller. The bat will get, 30, 40 damage in. And then the bat should die in pretty much one hit. Oh no, the bat will never die because it never removes its untargetable component. So we're guaranteed to win the fight. And there you have it. Any fight can be won with enough patience by just standing around and waiting for these bats to flap their wings to death. 1 minute and 40-second time. Wow. Well, that's why we got to go do this thing. Need the tooltip to... No, not even that. Need to remove the untargetable when the Spirit Caller dies. So I guess we are going to start saving these things off. So this should... I mean, I don't want to do this. Ethereal Spirits is what should know about this. Or the spirit itself should know when an ally dies. I think an effect can know that. Is there an on-allied death? On-used ability, on death. Ally died right there. And we even keep track of what the dying ally is. So what we can check is, does that ally have ethereal spirits? And if they do, we turn this off. That's one way of doing things. So problem, need the summons to be made targetable when the summoner dies. Option 1 is have the summons listen for allied deaths. And when that ally is the summoner, then remove untargetability. I think I'm leaning toward this. Option 2 is have the summoner listen for its own death and then make all summons targetable. Don't we have a summon component? Apparently we don't. I thought we did. Battle systems, summon. Yeah, there it is. Why didn't I find this? Is summon component. I searched for summon. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I searched for summoner. Or summoned? Huh, weird. Anyway, component should show up. There it is. It keeps track of the summoner. Yeah, this is another reason why this is probably the best idea. There is one other thing here, though, which is confer abilities to summon. We have some abilities in the game that are given to the summon. This is nuts. This is really nuts. I'm glad we coded a summoner already. This is going to make everything so much easier. All right, well, then option 1 it is. Let's go with this. Have the summon listen for allied deaths. So the only way to do this is to give them an effect, which would be something like the Ethereal Spirits buff, which is, I guess, going to go on each summon. Let me think about this. Okay, so Ethereal Spirits goes onto the summons. Well, it's got to be a buff. Goes onto the summons themselves. And then, yeah, when the summoner dies, remove the untargetable component. So we need to confer that buff to the entities. All the pieces are coming into play here. But, yeah, they're passive abilities. Are there any passive abilities granting buffs? No. So we just give them the buff. So it doesn't need to be ethereal spirits. In fact, does anything modify that? No, 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 and no. Okay, yeah, nothing modifies it. Okay, then it can just be a new thing. So what do we call this? Spirit link? It's not really a buff. It's more like a debuff. Maybe summoned spirit buff. Yeah. I don't know about the name. I don't really care. All right, so what actually does listen for ally died right now? We're just going to copy paste that one. Shield of Unity. Sure, sounds fine. Let's say this is summoned spirit buff. So we need to first grant this when you call summon to the summoned thing. And we have an example of this inside of the zombie code right here. So we just put this inside of the spirit caller code. We get a summoned spirit. What did I call this? I already forgot. Where's the effect ID? Oh my god. I think it's search for the right thing. Summoned spirit. I don't know what I tried typing originally, but there we go. Okay, so summon spirit buff equals new. We probably got to pass in the source, and the source is going to be the spirit, snake spirit. Then get this and add this. Great. We're getting there. Does this persist through death? No, when this thing dies, it's just dead for good. I guess just remove that. Yeah. All right, so for this thing to be initialized, the spirit caller needs to be alive. So we don't really need this thing here. We just need ally died. Ally came to life would not be necessary. Not even that's necessary. We can check this here. So we got to see if the dying ally is equivalent to the summoned thing. So there's an is summoned component on this. And we get the summoner. So if this is equal to the dying ally, then we remove is untargetable. Untargetable by enemies? What did I call this? There it is. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole code. Okay, question is, does that work? So we just got to set up the same scenario we had before, which is the spirit caller going into a place that's too hard for them. So the bat should be untargetable until that character dies. And they should become targetable. Yeah, they died immediately. Perfect. So the only thing we should test now is that it's specifically that ally that has to die. So if we put in, let's say, the rogue, and then... Oh, no, let's put in the mushroom. The mushroom will die really fast. And to make it even easier for them to die, we'll make this character a little bit higher level. So yeah, so now what should happen is this won't be targetable until the spirit caller dies. So the mushroom dying shouldn't have any effect. Yeah, the bat is still not being targeted. Unless we just won 9 dice rolls in a row, which is possible. So we'll just run this one more time. Very unlikely that we win like 18 dice rolls in a row. Or dice rolls, coin flips. Yeah, I think it's probably working. All right, so that part's done. Need the tooltip to say what Snake Spirit does. What do we want to write for this? The Snake Spirit will bite a single target for bite damage every bite cooldown seconds. No, we keep the seconds outside of that. Yeah. So now how do we figure out the bite damage? Oh, this is difficult. We don't even have the snake summon. In fact, I got to add that in. Add the snake graphic and its own enemy ID. Spirit snake is what it should probably be called. All right, bite damage. Let's look through this. So they're gonna get a snake bite attack, I guess. So we're gonna need to make a new ability that's probably like, well, maybe we call it Spirit Snake Bite. That's probably best. So Spirit Snake Bite. In fact, let's just make this right now. Spirit Snake Bite. And rename this. Got to be new ability ID. Sure. Display name. It doesn't need a display name. I don't think this is even necessary. But sure, call it Spirit Snake Bite, I guess. Damage is going to be based on its power. Cooldown needs to be something that we know for sure. 2F. Should attack probably pretty quickly. In fact, maybe even like 1.7. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Get damage, use, get a target, deal damage, play sound. We don't have a sound for this. I guess let's just play the basic attack sound. Probably dumb. All right, I'll write this down too then. Make a sound effect for the snake bite attack. It's using basic attack for right now. Okay, well, the rest of that looks fine. So all enemy data, we got to go add in this new thing. Pretty crazy. It's going really well. Today's been super productive. Just an overall great day, making good progress. So let's add in the spirit snake. Let's have it just look like a... I don't have the graphic for it yet. So let's have it look like a green skeleton. Sure. Let's give it the spirit snake bite. And then its stats don't actually matter because these will all get overridden. Then the next thing we need to do is have summon spirit, summon that instead of the zombie. Where is the zombie? Oh, it wasn't a zombie, it was a forest bat. All right, so now to calculate the damage, bite damage is gonna be this. Spirit snake. Well, I guess we should write it like this. Float bite damage. Spirit snake bite dot get damage. What stat computations dot get base power. And then put this in format number. Now what's the problem here? Cannot convert from float to what? Oh, get damage. What? This takes in the entity and then returns get power. We won't have get power. We'll only have get base damage. How does this work? Yeah, this is not how this should work. It should work like this. Power scaling times power. And its power scaling needs to be put in here. I wrote this code. All right, power scaling. I'm just going to set this to 1. I don't know what number this should be. It's how much damage this is going to do, and it's multiplied by your power. So if you have 10 power, this is now going to do 10 damage. But why I say I don't know what this should be is because it's a pretty fast attack. So maybe we should lower this a little bit, like 0.8 F. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Let's get rid of this. So now this is float damage equals that. And then just replace this with damage. Good. And then this can do that same thing. Get base damage, get base power. Perfect. Cannot convert from float to string. Format number takes in a string. $, like that, 0. All right, and then we just need the cooldown. Byte cooldown. Format number. Oh, I guess we do need that. Okay, so I guess just make that a cooldown. Or wait. You can't just write the word cooldown here because it's an active ability. But you could get the ability and then fetch its cooldown. How do we do this? Mental swiftness cooldown. Is this just, how does this work? Oh, is this not shadowing? Oh, it's a passive ability. Okay. Okay, so we can't do things like that. Maybe a colon. No, man, come on. Gotta be something here. We never use this? Huh, we never use this. Well, I must have called it something else then. Cons float something cooldown. Just search for that. Dot star cooldown. Base cooldown. Ah, that's what we call it. Yeah, so base cooldown. So why do we use base cooldown? Sure, whatever. Let's copy this. 1.7. And then just use that from over here. All right. That should do it. How many lines of code? I don't remember, and I don't have it set up to be able to check, but it's somewhere between 20 and 40,000, I think. Kevin's always reported it. Okay, this is one of the longest tooltips for an ability. Summons a snake spirit and any other spirits you have unlocked. Fairy spirit, dog spirit, and cat spirit at the beginning of battle. The snake spirit will bite a single target for 8 damage every 1.7 seconds. Okay, it's pretty reasonable. Does it actually do that? It'd be nice if it did that. So let's join a battle in the forest, and we should see 8 damage every 1.7 seconds. 8, 8, 8. But how much the next time? Oh my god, 8. Yeah, that's working. 38.7 thousand lines. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. This is looking good. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Oh, all right, what's next? Add the snake graphic and its own enemy ID. Okay, so we just need the graphic now at this point. Graphics come from here. And there's the snake, but this is going to take on a totally different form that we've never used before. And we need a disappears when dead component. What adds this? Battler. Okay, that's fine. Nothing's going to tell this thing. Wait, do zombies? No, everything plays out a death animation. This doesn't have a death animation. Oh, what's it going to do? It's just going to fade out then? This might actually just work. Because I think I can recall the code in my head that we used for this. And I think it will work. All right, well, let's chop up all of this and save them as the right things. So how big is this image? Canvas size. 160. So we need every one of these to be 64 by 40. So we just do that. Then there's our first sprite. I'd like to access your downloads folder, sure. So what are we calling this? Fairy spirit. Yeah. Hey, French toast. You comment on how do you feel that your dev streams affect your game's visibility? Do you think it's worth it to get into streaming for that reason? No, I don't think it's worth it to get into streaming for that reason. My original reasons for streaming were accountability and marketing, and I realized that the marketing part is kind of minor. Because part of it is the audience here is people who are okay watching game dev. How many of those people will play your game or, well, play or like your game, I guess? Any verb you can come up with here. Play, like, buy, be interested in. So there is some impact. Like by streaming, I'm probably getting somewhere on the order of like 1 to 5 wish lists per day, maybe. So over the course of a year, you know, at best, maybe you get 1,500 wish lists if you stream every single day. Is that going to make or break your game? Probably not. So yeah, I don't think the marketing impact is really there. Now, granted, I'm not trying to grow my stream. If you had 5,000 viewers, you will probably feel that you've got a marketing impact at that point. And at the very least, you could very easily attract sponsors, which then you can get money for and then just convert that into ads. So in essence, it's kind of the same as marketing your game just by streaming, but not really. Yeah, accountability is the biggest reason that I'm streaming. And the other reason is there is still like a minor social aspect, which keeps me sane. So even if I were accountable, I think working on a game just behind a closed door with no one to talk to for what, 2 years or something, or 5 years, I think that's just way too hard. And there's some people out there who can do that. Although even then, I'm not really totally sure there are many of those people. Even the creator of Stardew Valley apparently eventually got a job as a theater usher just to like see people again. It's not actually funny. It's just like, we know that was a success story. But man, imagine if it didn't work out. You're working on a game for like 4 years. The game tanks. You got a job just so that you could see people again. Is that a real story? At least, yeah. I watched a video on the creating of Stardew Valley. And yeah, there were a lot of little things about Eric Barone. It affected my mental health ever since I started working from home. Yeah, and I think the easiest way is to sort of be around people. I put around in quotes because when I'm streaming, I'm not really around people, right? But I am talking, and probably your brain is tricked into thinking that you're talking to a person, although I'm not. I'm talking to a computer screen, and then people are responding. And I think body doubling is a good way to do that. There's like a bunch of people you could just talk to on Discord or have in a call, but you're all working on your own thing. Go to like a WeWork sort of space, that kind of thing. Alternatively, just find a different job that's in an office. All right, add the snake graphic. We were chopping these up. We've only chopped up one of them. So I saved this. So now we need to Command Z and then get the next one. There's probably, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but I don't think that had any impact. There's probably an easy way to do this. If I say 40 and then set the offset to 40. Why did that, whoops. Why is it getting deleted? Oh, we just set it to negative 40. So now I should have the dog spirit. Good. Dog spirit. Cool. Then we can do the exact same thing. 40, negative 80, and get the cat spirit. And the final one is the snake spirit. 40, negative 120. Snake spirit. Had a company, we're working in the office for like 3 years, went bankrupt in December, had to part ways, been working from home since, been jumping through hoops to be reliably productive. Yeah, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that. It is a very, very tough cycle. And especially it's been 6 months for you now. And I don't know how much of that has been working from home versus like trying to find jobs or something. But I had a job for, I think, 3 months a very long time ago where I was working from my parents' basement and I was the only developer. So it's not like I was working from home with other developers who were remote. It was just me. And I went nuts. I felt my sanity slipping away. So that was another major motivator of streaming, at least. But the odds of you being able to stream whatever work you're doing are probably pretty slim. Now, granted, you could stream in a co-working setup where the camera's on your face and you're not sharing your screen at all. You're just sharing like another video camera of your room or something. So I guess you could still stream while you're developing, but that's harder to attract viewers. You only need a couple people chatting though for you to probably feel the effects of not being alone. Okay, so all of these things are here. We're going to save these off in the Skeleseller folder under assets, and I guess monsters, even though they're not really monsters. They're people. cat is a person. And then let's go get the enemy data. So Spirit Snake is pulled from Spirit. Oh, I called it Snake Spirit. Maybe I should have renamed him. Yeah, I think I'd want to do that. Rename Spirit Graphics to Spirit-X instead of X-Spirit. I don't want to do that now, though. I want us to look at this stuff working. So, if I'm not mistaken, the snake should summon. It should look like the Spirit Snake. And when it dies, it should just fade away. So, let's see if all of that is true. Nice. Yeah, it does not have an attack animation, though. And when it dies, will be very hard to test. So the way we need to do that is by putting another character into the battle who has more life than this character does. So let's put the Paladin at level 10. And then put these all over to here. And then hope that the Spirit Caller dies first and actually proves what I'm talking about. And we should see the snake fade out. So the Spirit Caller needs to die. This is taking longer than I thought. Oh, they get healed. Oh my god. Stupid Paladin. Okay, let's put the mage level 10 or 8. It doesn't matter. Just something that's not going to make him die first. Okay, now let's see. So we should see this character die, and then the snake should die very shortly thereafter. Are they winning this battle? God, I cannot test this scenario, can I? Okay, fine. Get rid of that. Let's try a harder location. There. Good luck winning this one. Fools. Yeah. Now we're going to see this happen. I just want to see, does the snake fade out? It did, but it played the attack animation before fading out because it thinks it's a death animation. Oh. Okay. All right, well, what's the death animation name? Here it is. And we just add this no matter what. Yeah, we had it no matter what. So we need a way of not adding this. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Game's looking nice. Thank you. Yeah, this is gonna be bad. This is already kind of a mess because this does so many different things, and there are a lot of if paths through this function. Like adventurers get 2 ability graphics, elites have something special happen to them, everyone gets a death animation, but then we need to modify the ability things for adventurers. And now, yeah, so up until now, we had the adventurers, which was idle, death, ability 1, and ability 2. We had bosses and we had enemies, like regular enemies. And regular enemies were idle and death. I guess bosses are idle, also idle and death. And now we're going to have the spirit summons, which are the only ones with idle and an ability. They don't have a death animation. Can you duplicate the regular animation in the next row of graphics? Hack? Yeah, I can. I could also, the other thing I could do is just fade it out in that second row. And then the fade out happens via a sprite. But I think the right way to do things would be to figure out which animations this thing should have. So we probably annotate in the enemy data, maybe, or the battler somehow, where this thing should be. For now, it's not worth worrying about. And I'll probably end up doing that bit tomorrow because I want to be able to think about this a little bit better. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. I want to turn on the AC. It's way too hot. Okay. Oh, I'm always freezing after lunch, and the thermostat says it's 74 in here. I don't believe that. It feels warmer than that. Let me see what the weather is outside. It's 70? Huh. Surprised it feels so warm in here then. I mean, I know that only the temperature inside should matter, but it's not entirely true. Our thermostat kind of lies sometimes, and definitely the outside temperature is also needed as an input to that. All right, so we added the snake graphic. I guess this requires some custom code. Right now, we're using the attack animation as a death animation. We need the spirit to use its attack animation when he uses its ability. Which means manifesting this correctly. Always feel at least 3 extra degrees when I wear a shirt versus a t-shirt. Well, I'll probably feel fine in about 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay, we're going to rename these things. Where are they? I guess if I rename them through Godot, I have less to do. So let's just search for Spirit. Yeah, and just rename this to Spirit Cat. Spirit Dog. Spirit Fairy. And whoops. And Spirit Snake. Then go replace that Snake Spirit, Spirit Snake, and mark this done. And then just make sure it still works. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. We have 1 spirit in the game. And I'm kind of cutting some corners here, which I'm probably going to regret later. I say probably, but I know the answer is I'm going to regret it later. This is part of what I meant by bricklaying. We just have a million tasks to do. And I don't really think the order matters too much because we're talking about today versus tomorrow and maybe a little bit of bleeding into Friday. It's not like today versus next week. But anything you hold off on has a chance of just never getting done. All right, this is just a simplification of the summon zombie code. I guess let's check this in. Simplify summon zombie code. We were fetching the effects component multiple times for no reason. This is just clarify a comment. Clarify a comment. Change the spacing on that stuff. That's all good. That's going to get turned into its own function that knows how to summon each thing. This should probably have a comment. So let's remember to write one for that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's write a comment for that. Spirit buff. Removes untargetability from, yeah, summon spirit when a summoner dies. Nothing will add this back if the summoner got revived. I don't think that's a problem. Also, if the summoner gets revived, which we don't plan on ever having that happen, the spirits will probably get killed before then anyway. All right, so this should be good. I already looked through it, but let me just look through it one more time. These are all just images. I don't care about those. This is the bite attack, which looks like it's working fine. Change the spacing. Oh, I never mentioned this part, that the spirits are all very weak. Should I do that? This says the snake spirit will bite a single target for 8 damage every 1.7 seconds. It could say the snake spirit has 18 life. No, maybe ethereal spirit should say that. I'll write that down. Maybe add a note that spirits all have 10% of the life of the spirit caller. They're intended to die quickly. Again, this was to make it so that you don't end up with another tank class in the game. Imagine if you had a spirit caller and then there are 4 spirits. And this thing has whatever, 200 life. And let's say these even had 100 life. Well, total now you're at 600 life of just tankiness. So instead, that's why we make all of these just be 10%. So they have 20 life. So now you have 280 life of tankiness, which, okay, sure, it's a little bit extra. It's not going to really help you. And no fortitude. I don't think that matters. I don't think players are going to care. Heal the full. This all looks fine. Yeah, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's check it all in except for town. Add, or I guess implement summon spirits ability. There are still some rough edges for the snake, namely with animations. It's not using its attack animation when using its bite ability, but it is using it when dying. It needs to be changed eventually. So this can be bumped backward and this can be deleted. The AoE can't hurt them. I don't know, does that even work? Let me think about this. Fire barrage. How does this work? Get enemy targets. Does this get untargetable targets? I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, right here. Remove any untargetable enemies. Okay, so then there's no way to damage an untargetable enemy. Because in some games, there's this concept of an area, like a literal area of effect. So you light the ground on fire. So you haven't targeted the enemy, but the enemy still takes damage from it. In this case, that concept doesn't exist. And it's not a problem right now, but maybe it is in the future. Do we ever want a boss that, I guess I shouldn't be asking hypothetical questions. If we ever want that boss, we'll just change the code. All right, so then this is done, kind of. It's technically not done until we've coded all of the other spirits. But we'll consider those to be part of the other spirits. So now ethereal spirits can't be targeted unless the spirit caller dies. Yeah, so this is pretty much already finished. We just need the tooltip. We kind of got this one for free, although the cost was pretty high for the first one, so it's not really free. So what are we saying for this? Your spirits cannot be targeted unless you die. And then put /n/n. Oh, man. This is what I want. Why is this underlined? Private members unused. These aren't unused. They're used right there. Do I need to reload this? Or is this just a problem with me having typed half of this, but not the rest of it? Okay, so note your spirits have spirit life of your life. Yeah, that fixed that. All right, now to type in some of these things. So the note color is here. Get UI constants. And then the spirit life is format number summon spirits life health percent health. P0. Where's the problem? There. And that's it. I don't even think we have any code to write. I think it's just the tooltip. Your spirits cannot be targeted unless you die. Note your spirits have 35%. That's not right. This isn't summon zombie. It's summon spirits. Did I code that wrong in the other thing too? It's not even percent health of summoner. Percent life of summoner. Did I do this right? I did, but we should probably name it the same thing that Summon Zombie has, which is percent health of Summoner. Percent health of Summoner. Yeah, let's rename that. Okay, there. So now it should say 10%, not 35%. Your spirits are made of marshmallows. Whoops. Your spirits have 10% of your life. Oh, it says life. It should say health. Messed up every possible thing I could have messed up for that. What does Summon Zombie say then? It says health. It says it correctly. All right, I think we're done. Is there anything else it's supposed to do? No. That was easy. It's probably the fastest ability because it was pretty much already coded. Yeah. Implement ethereal spirits ability. This was pretty much already done since it was part of... I did it as part of summon spirits, but I've now filled in the tooltip for ethereal spirits. Check. Okay, I'm losing steam. Empower spirit. Grants a spirit plus X% power for Y seconds. Each spirit benefits from power. So they all need to use power somehow. Hey, Goose. Is it one dev project? No, it isn't. Take a look at the credit, Shepsy. And welcome in. So empower spirit, we don't have a graphic for, but we could just write empower over it. And I feel like we should do this. We should just make this one more ability. I just really got to convince myself to do it. Alternatively, I could take a break and then come back and do it. It's probably the smart move. Yeah, let's do the smart move. Let's take a quick break so that I don't burn out on this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, chat. Type join, YouTube Cavino. And then you can type J and a number and you can jump. You'll figure it out. Use these as an example if you need. Have fun trying to make it to the top. I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, so I want to give a little tutorial on this game. So I'm going to join. So the way this works is if you type L first, it's going to go to like the left half of your character. And you type R, it's going to go to the right half of your character. And 0 is straight up. So if I'm going to go like slightly to the right, I'd probably do about R5 or something like that. So if I type R5, there we go. I land on this platform. So I did see some people typing like R100, which is going to try to go, if this is 90 degrees, and it's going to try to go like down into the right, which is probably going to make my character like stutter slightly to the right. So you can see what happens when I do R100. But yeah, like R45 will be a 45-degree angle like that way. So yeah, I like launch myself to the side. So keep that in mind for next time. That should help out. What is J? J is it's an undirected thing. So you do J negative numbers to go from the left of up and J positive numbers to go to the right of up. So J5 is the same as R5 and J negative 5 is the same as L5. Excuse me, yeah. So yeah, it's a little confusing at first, but once you get it, it's pretty straightforward. Anyway, close the game. So we said we were going to code Empower Spirit. It's going to take all of the mental fortitude that I have to do this. Oh yeah, let's go do it. Empower Spirit. So let's fill in the description first. Grants a spirit. Grants a spirit more power for a duration. And then we write a note here saying that this affects everybody. All spirits benefit from power. Yeah. Okay, so no color goes here. A private orange. All right, now we get something. This is a 2-column thing. What else has 2 columns? I'm trying to remember. Close call, I think. No, that's 1. Ugh, let's just search. I don't remember. Ah, there. Earth and Shield does. Earth and Shield. So we're going to copy this. Wait. No, there are no columns for this. What am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? Okay, grants a spirit. We need to just say how much more power. Power for duration. Yeah, there. That's it. So this is a percentage. Public const float power increase equals, I don't know, 25%. Public const float duration equals, well, how often do we use this? Once every 4 seconds, maybe. So it could increase their power for 3 seconds. No, let's make it be 4 seconds. So if you only have the one spirit, you're going to constantly increase its power by 25%. Yeah, something like that. And we'll allow this to stack. So now we can just type in this stuff and yeah, everything should look good. All right, so let's try the tooltip first. We haven't made the ability to do anything yet. Although I guess that should be pretty simple. I don't know why I was balking at the idea of coding this right now. I guess it shows the burnout. Oh yeah, I forgot the P0. I forgot the format number too. I didn't do any of this right. So duration, and then this needs to have an S at the end. And this needs to be format number, kind of the same way. Yeah, there we go. All right, that should look good. Grants a spirit 25% power for 4 seconds. Should probably say plus 25%. How do we do this in every other instance? What does a rogue say? Increasing your power. Increasing. Okay, so we say increasing there. Grants does technically imply that same thing, I guess. Do we do that anywhere else? No, it'd have to be in a passive ability. I don't think anyone else has an ability like that. So it's faster. We're using comparative words. No, no one else has. It says faster. Yeah, okay, so then we probably need to change this. Increases a spirit's power by 25% for some duration. Yeah, that should look good. Man, today's been fantastically productive. We've coded a bunch of abilities. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now let's make the ability work. So this is going to be similar to any other single target buff, which I don't even know that exists in the game. Do we have a single target buff? Who would even use it? The cleric? I don't think they even have one. They have heal. I guess heal's pretty similar. So yeah, let's look at heal. Remove summons from list. Interesting. Okay, so I guess we want this. Actually, let's just copy paste the whole thing. So get all possible targets. This says get friendly targets. Why can't I find this? Isn't there a better way of doing this? What does this do? Get friendly targets. Oh, they can heal themselves. You shouldn't be able to buff yourself. So this should be get allies. Get all friendly living targets other than the one passed in. Yeah. I don't know why we use the spread operator here. Why do we do that? Cannot implicitly convert from an I read-only list. Maybe because we needed to modify it afterward. Yes, we do. Okay, well, that explains that. All right, then set that we're in the animation for this. Cool, we don't need to sort this. We just get the target. So this isn't random, is it? Is it a random order? I don't think so. So I think we just need to sample one of these. Dot sample one. Sample doesn't contain. We have an extension for that, I guess. All right, play a sound. Yeah, sound would be nice. I don't want to do any of this. All right, I'll write this down too. Make a sound effect for empower spirits. Then what do we do here? We need to give them a power buff. Power buff. Power buff from percent power. That's exactly what I want. In fact, all of this is exactly what I want. Would you look at that? All right, so just delete all this code now. And paste that. And then this is going to be power increase. This is going to be duration. We make the power buff, we add it to them, and then we test this out. Come on. And then the message is going to be, what do we call this? Floating text. Empowered. Or maybe just empower. I want it to be a little bit shorter. I don't know what the largest floating text is that we have. Red. What color should this be? Your spirit color is kind of bluish. Just make it blue. Probably looks stupid. Okay, now what are we missing? I think that's pretty much it. We're not actually doing this on the target. We need to do that on the target. Affected entity is going to be the target. Source entity is going to be the entity. Cool. Yeah, let's try it. So after 4 seconds, it'll use this, which will increase the power by 25%, which will make the snake do 10 damage for the rest of the battle, because every 4 seconds is going to get re-empowered. So we just start a battle, we should see it do 10 damage after 4 seconds. So it does 8, 8, and now it should do 10 from then onward. It never used the ability. What happened? What happened indeed? Let's put a breakpoint here. It's not even being hit. Oh, there it is. All right, so get allies. Oh, then we remove summons from the list. Oh, it's only got to find your summons. Oh, that's stupid. We can't just randomly power up an ally. It's got to be one of your 4 summons. All right, so we have no way of enumerating just your summons. But that should be easy enough to do. So we can do battle.getAllies.where ECS.getComponent is summoned component ally.summoner equals entity. Easy. Easy. It's actually impossible for there to not be targets, because the spirits can't die while the summoner is alive. But we might as well just put this guard code in anyway. All right, let's try it again. What am I doing? All right, so 8 damage twice. 8. Now we should see empower. Nice. Now it's doing 10 damage for the rest of the fight. Yeah. Now empower could technically stack. So if we made the duration 6 seconds, then we would see it do probably 12 damage, because I think it's additive the way that it stacks. Eight, 8. Now it should be 10, then 10 again, then it should be 12. Yep. And then 10 again, and then 12, and then 10 again. Or something like that. The timing is going to be a little bit weird. But yeah, I only made it last 6 seconds. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, instead of just blue, we should probably make it a slightly lighter blue, because it's already got a dark outline on it. I don't even know where blue is in here. There it is. All right, so Godot colors. Color. Where are all the colors? This is the most useless. Do they have a page that shows you what the colors look like? What are all the built-in colors? Oh my god, this is the worst. This has what looks like a picture of the colors. Does it seriously not? Where? What? Okay, you know what? Let's just look at C# colors. They're probably the same. This is what I used to look at anyway. We just want something that's lighter blue. Cyan might be good. Sky blue. Let's try sky blue. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I just wanted to look sort of like the Spirit Caller used it. So let's see what the word empower looks like. Yeah, it's fine. Sure. Whatever. Okay, is that the whole thing? Are we done with that? Grants a spirit X% power for Y second. What? This is in Scratch. I don't want the Scratch thing. Here it is. Yeah, that was it. Well. We're done with that one. So how's this end up looking? Yeah, pretty reasonable. I didn't write anything about this stacking. I don't know if I need to. Can you ever have it stack? Make it last longer? Yeah, if this does, I'll just write it here. If we do make it last longer, then we should include a note about this stacking. All right, not bad. Implement empowers spirit ability. So I kept saying while playing Animal Well. Okay. My brain's on fire. I don't know if anyone ever got this experience when they were cramming for tests where they just felt like their brain was overworking. I don't have that exact feeling, but I have a feeling like I know I need a break. And not a break like 5 minutes or something. Like I need to stop thinking. My brain's just been doing too much today. I mean, this was a solid 6 hours of work minus 2 short breaks. So like 5 hours and 54 minutes of productivity. I'd say that's pretty good. We got done with every single ability. So Friday, we had 30 abilities to code. And now we have 7 left. And the goal was always to do this by the end of the week, well, end of the work week, which is very much feasible. 7 abilities, even if we did them split over 2 days, it'd be 3.5 per day. It's not bad at all. When was your last vacation? Like actual vacation? I think January. I take days off here and there. So if that's all you mean is like when I last take a day off, it was last week. I took Wednesday and Thursday off because I was working quite a lot leading up to Next Fest. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not feeling burned out in that sense, like I need a vacation. I'm actually feeling pretty energized in general about Skeleseller. What's this picture? Well said. Yeah, thank you, Fable. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm burning out in a greater sense. But I do look at what's needed from now until launch. And I knew it was more adventurers. We need bosses. We need just all the content stuff. So there's items, locations, whatever else. We need more polish, more kind of features, things like achievements. Probably to think about localization at some point. We're gonna do marketing throughout all of this. Probably more music, which is kind of more content. I've got the 4th track about 90% complete, and it's sounding pretty good. But I want to make a battle theme, and I want to make maybe like one more track after that. Yeah, there'd be 5 town themes. I think that'd be pretty good. Yeah, so this is a little bit daunting when I look at this list, but at least it's a lot of variance. Like I'm not just working on adventurers for a month. I'm not just working on bosses for a month. I'm going to be bouncing all over the place. Man. Well, as I mentioned before, if people want to help out, I think telling your local streamer about Skeleseller and saying like, hey, if you ever want to take a 2-hour break from whatever game you're sick and tired of playing, why not try this game from another streamer I watch? There's your marketing pitch. Then you can just start saying words from the Steam page. Like, oh, it's a laid back idle game. You can turn your brain off. But actually, that is the goal. I want people to just be able to relax while they play this game. And some people have suggested things that make it a little bit more strategically in depth, but I feel like that makes you turn your brain back on. It's supposed to be a brain off kind of game. Abby. Abby? Heard meowing, but oh, there she is. Do you want to come up? Yes, you do. Good cat. Hi. Okay. Yeah, so I think we're going to find someone to raid. Abby came just in time. You want to sit down? Do you want to sit down? Come on, Abby. I don't know what she wants right now. It's a little too early for her to be whining about food, but that doesn't stop the cat. Hi. All right, who's online? Mute site. Janet rated us the other day, but I don't see her online. I haven't rated someone new in a while. So here's what happens. I try to follow all the people I raid so I can tell who I've rated before. And now my follower list is gigantic. As in following list, I guess, not follower list. Yeah, I might be streaming tomorrow. I'm still not totally sure. All right, let's see who else is in the category whom I can raid. I'll use the raid finder thingy. Raid channel. Okay, so same category. English. Where's English here? Okay, so let's see. Someone I'm not following who doesn't have a ton of uptime. This person. Have I rated them? Wait, I was following them. Oh, right. This page lies. It says Alex Void and does not have a little following thing next to it, but if I refresh, it'll probably show. There's the raid thing. Here it is. I'll probably show it. Same category. No, it still doesn't show it. I'm following them though, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Okay, well, I probably rated them then. Anyone else who... No one's got like less than an hour of uptime. Or if they do, I'm already following them. I'm pretty sure I'm following Mordecai. Huh. Okay, well, maybe we'll just raid someone who've already... Oh, no. Here's somebody. Pixel art. Okay, let's raid them. I like to find new people in the category. Spread some love around. This person's working on pixel art for a Metroidvania and Unreal 5. Cool. Well, thank you all for watching. I might stream tomorrow morning. If I do, it'll probably just be for the morning. And if I do, it's probably just going to be to keep myself on track. But I'll definitely be online on Friday. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday evening, and take care.